Hey guys, welcome back to my Gundam Witch Mercury review. I am here to Buster Green, and today we're up to episode 10 of Gundam Witch Mercury. We are closing in on the end of the series. I think there's possibly only a couple more episodes left. There is a second season planned, but yeah, there's going to be a hiatus like right after New Year's. If you guys didn't see my news show this week, there's been some schedule mix-ups, and there's going to be a 2-week delay between the penultimate episode and the season finale. So that's going to be annoying, but I think we still have at least 3 more episodes left. I'm honestly not sure. Anyway, so once again, you guys, I need 900 or something watch hours to get monetized. If you can, please watch my show for an hour today. That would really help me a long way to getting monetized. Thank you very much. All right, now let's review episode 10. So episode 10 starts with our first sight and mention of the religio-fascist organization Cathedral, the organization that destroyed all the Gundams in between the prologue and the start of the show. So this is our first time seeing them, and they just look like the friggin' Titans from Zeta Gundam, no big deal. Although they do look a little bit like the A-Laws from 002. Anyway, it's interesting that Old Man Zanelli has gone out to talk with them, just to stage a formal complaint against the whole fact that, they destroyed Gundams and, now they're Gundams. But, yeah, they're not going to do anything about the aerial because the Gundam company exists and Miorine has shielded the Gundams from legal responsibility, and Zanelli's dad is pissed about this, but he can't do anything because Old Man Rembrandt has okayed the existence of Gundams now, which is a complete flip-flop of where he was 20 years ago. So that's crazy, and Zanelli is shocked that Cathedral is up here ignoring their original function. So he gets back on his plane and he runs into Old Man Jaturk, and Old Man Jaturk seems to have expected all this. But actually, Jaturk's in a good mood and he offers Zanelli a drink because, as it turns out, he is planning to assassinate Dylan Rembrandt again, and he's very boastful about that. He's just out here in public talking about Dylan's gonna die soon. So anyway, cue the credits. Now after that, we go back to the kids we all like. So episode 10 starts with Suletta singing her made-up Gundam song, which always kind of throws me because it's got the same beat as the original Tobey Gundam from the original 70s Gundam, and I really, really want to sing Tobey Gundam when she starts her song. It's anyway. Shidi comes back to the tomato house, and I'm shocked that he's there after he got kicked out of the last episode. I thought he'd be laying low for a while. Oh, but actually he has. So as it turns out, there was a time skip between episode 9 and episode 10. It seems that about 2 weeks have gone by, and more properly, it's been officially 2 months since Miorine officially established the Gundam Company. So wait, has it been 2 months since the last episode, and it's actually been 2 weeks since Miorine's been gone? Anyway, Miorine's gone on a business trip right now, and Suletta is doing the good husband thing and taking care of all Miorine's affairs. So we get a flashback to when Miorine left, and basically when she left, she had no one else to rely on except for Suletta, and Suletta is way too proud of that, and she's all well, look at me, I'm managing another person's life, I'm so cool. Anyway, Choo-Choo calls her up and curses her out because they need to go test some prosthetic legs, and awkwardly they need Suletta to do it because Suletta's the Gundam pilot. So then Suletta is literally riding these wacky legs with a little bike helmet on, and it's pretty contemporary prosthetic leg technology, and Suletta looks ridiculous in this funny bike helmet. And then they put the prosthetic legs through an obstacle course, and gotta hand it to the animators here. This is a really great, very interesting animated scene. So anyway, the fake legs do so good, and everyone's so happy, and Aso Belmeri is helping them again. And then Suletta has to go crazy and manage all Miorine's stuff because Miorine's gone. And, oh no, Suletta Forgetta. Wow, somehow that pun still works because Watsuretta rhymes with Forgetta, and it still rhymes with Suletta. Wow, great job, translation team. Way to save that pun. Anyway, so then Suletta has a short scene with Nika where Nika gives her a cute keychain. And this is our first time with Nika's new VA. Now, I'm a little bit disappointed in the new VA. She definitely sounds older than the previous Yume Miyamoto voice. She sounds a little bit older, a little less soft. I'm disappointed in her. I thought she'd do better. Anyway, so then we go back to Miorine. Now, Miorine is apparently trying to sort out the Gundam thing with her dad, which is a really interesting twist because I thought she hated her dad, but now I guess they're working out their issues. By the way, this is a death flag. Her dad being nice is like completely setting up that he'll probably die in the next episode. So anyway, she heads back to school and she teams up with the smugglers who helped her escape in the episode 2. And as it turns out, they're not just normal smugglers. They also have day jobs where they run the space bus. So Myrene notices that it's suspicious that they have these normal jobs, and she's asking if that they're only here to like be interested in her and interested in Gundam and Gundam technology. And she guesses that they're probably actually members of the Space Assembly League, and turns out they are. So since she figured out who they are, the older lady tells Myrene that they're not enemies of hers, and then Myrene flips the table on them, is like, so if we're not enemies, can we be friends? Now, meanwhile, Old Man Zanelli has completely spilled the tea to Shadiq and literally his 10 gossipy teenage girls that Old Man Jaturk is on the cusp of having an assassination plot to assassinate Dylan Rembrandt again. Now, Shadiq personally takes a role in this, and he has to consider what he thinks of the assassination. Is the assassination good or bad? And for that matter, what will happen after the assassination? And Shadiq wonders that if Delling is actually assassinated, what will happen to the Bennett group? Now, he points out that as it currently stands, Myrene and Prospero would not have enough combined power to take control of it. Now, his dad kind of stifles down on this point and lets Shadiq know that he has to be really careful with committing further Gundam duels, because since he's lost to Soletta, if he loses again, he's going to lose his social status like Gold Turk did. And they don't want that to happen because apparently, they built up Shadiq for his entire life. So anyway, meanwhile, the Earth kids are trying to film another commercial to sell their prosthetic legs, because that's the next thing they're going to sell. And some mean guy denies them the first location they wanted. And, that happens when you're trying to film something. Then Soletta realizes that they can use the upperclassmen lounge because she's the school title holder and she technically has a seat in that lounge. And meanwhile, Jaturk House is in outright chaos. So Ghoul has officially left for his internship, which apparently consists of him doing menial labor jobs in space. He's vacuuming dirt off spaceships and touring factories. And from what they imply, when he gets to those factories, he's doing the shittiest job they have there. I'm really kind of interested that we're still following his story. I wonder if something is going to happen with him, because I don't know why we're still following him. Anyway, meanwhile, they suddenly flip to Earth, where Tokyo is abandoned and covered in plants. Why? What the fuck happened to Tokyo? Was there a nuclear attack? This kind of looks like what happened to Fukushima. So anyway, we see some mysterious sexy girl, and then her friend or her sister is watching Soletta's video on a Bandai Wonder Swan, and they say that Soletta is a witch, and then we're introduced to some old man named Naji who has connections to Shadiq, and Shadiq is also ordering the assassination of Rembrandt, which is a huge twist. Now, why is Shadiq personally ordering an assassination that is already in the progress of happening against the most powerful man in the galaxy? Old Man Jaturk was already going to assassinate this guy, so Shadiq did not have to get his hands dirty and speed up the assassination. Now, to me, this seems like a bad move if their goal is just to see him dead, because that was going to happen anyway. So he's got to have a secondary goal in setting up the secondary assassination to beat Jaturk to the punch. Is it political? Is that some kind of way to upset his plans? I can't believe Shadiq would go through with this assassination. I didn't think he was old enough for this. I'm really concerned about the liability of it all. I'm really shocked that Shadiq making the move is not his dad. Unless his dad put him up to it to take the fall, it's a really big deal. Oh, and I wonder if these people on Earth are the people that Shadiq was using Nika as a go-between for in the last episode. Anyway, so Shadiq sets up his assassination plan and tells Naji that the security detail will be weakened in 5 days because Delling has to go to a factory or something. And all Naji asks for in return is a flight to get there, but otherwise he's completely down to do it. Oh, and shit. This was the person Nika is going between for. Wait, is Nachi Nika's dad? Wow. Dads in Gundam look nothing like their daughters. Anyway, so we get a nice look at the upperclassmen lounge from the outside. It actually looks pretty nice from the outside. Now, Roji uses his Haro to spy some X-ray vision on the prosthetic legs. And then Mirin appears on television trying to soften the public opinion of Gundam art technology. Anyway, at this point, Belle helps Soletta set up the legs again, and Soletta super thanks her, and Belle thanks Soletta, and then she tells Soletta that she's helping her because her dream was always to improve prosthetic technology, and helping Soletta is actually helping her like achieve her real goal in life. And then Soletta has another phone alarm goes off, and she's having a really hard time managing Mirin's schedule. But she's still happy because she got this thing, which is just like a happy little keychain. And then Elan shows up. So is this the original Elan again? No, it can't be. His costume's a little bit different. I think this is a new Elan. Yeah, I think this is a new Elan because he's wearing a new outfit, and he seems to be a lot nicer than the old Elan. Oh no, he's a sexual Elan! Oh no, a sexual predator Elan! Too sexually promiscuous! Gah! Oh, and he's like way too into Soletta too. Oh, that horny fuck, how dare he. Wow, this horny Elan coming on to Soletta. Oh no, he's a bad horny Elan too. He's actually making Soletta reconsider her gay marriage to Mirin. So this bad horny Elan, he straight up tells Soletta that Mirin doesn't love her and that their relationship isn't real and that Mio is just using Soletta as a political shield. Wow, dramatic. Now, so to further clarify that this definitely is a new Elan, they go back to Pale House where OG Elan is still like crashing on the couch, and he discusses with his executive producer that this new Elan is such a new Elan, and the executive like lets him know that, hey, by the way, this new Elan, total psychopath. So anyway, Soletta goes back to the Tomato House, but is shocked to find these men in it. And she has like a panic attack because she thinks they're like robbers. And she's like, get the fuck out of my house. But actually, they're not robbers. They're just salesmen. She's freaking out over nothing. Because as it turns out, Mirin is back. And she bought a spaceship. And she hired some farmers to take care of the Tomato House. But this completely upsets Soletta because Soletta has been working her ass off to take care of like Mirin's life in the Tomato House and like all these other things. Only for Mirin to come back completely ungrateful bitch mode and just fire her and replace her, like, casually. Now, despite all this, Soletta, like, is still, like, lovey-dovey for Mio, so she, like, tries to, like, explain that Elan just showed up and how weird he was, and, like, he wants to date her again. And, she's, like, super proud that she, like, shot him down. And, yeah, why wouldn't she? Like, ignoring the fact that Elan is actually a series of bad actors, from Soletta's point of view, her last date with him went terribly. But Mirin doesn't fucking care because as long as Soletta doesn't duel him and jeopardize Mirin's like marital status, Mirin is happy and Mirin is absorbed with her work. And Soletta kind of realizes all this because Elan like set her up that way, but it really gets under her skin and she just kind of like realizes in this moment that Mirin doesn't love her, she's using her. And Mirin is just casually working and her attitude hurts Soletta. Oh, and by the way, it turns out that she also hired the new Elan to work with them. And then, yeah, the whole heartbreak happens. Like, this is where her fucking heart breaks because she realizes that she loves Mirin and Mirin doesn't love her. She's just using her to, like, not marry a guy she doesn't like. So Mirin asks Soletta to come with her to pick up the aerial, but Soletta just stays in the Tomato House having a breakdown. And Mirin is such a bitch that she doesn't even notice. Man, fuck Mirin. I don't want to agree with bad sexy Elan, but bad sexy Elan is kind of right about things. Fundamentally, Soletta, you're so goddamn naive. I'm sorry. Anyway, so we flip over to Delling Rembrandt at an asteroid mining base, meeting with Lady Prospera. Now, the fact that Lady Prospera is here is probably not a coincidence. I would have to bet she's involved with the assassination attempt, but I have no idea how deeply. Now, it's possible that Old Man Jaturk told Old Man Zanelli that Delling was going to be assassinated, Now, he never said he was going to assassinate him, so it's possible a twist is coming and Prospera is actually the one going to assassinate him and Jaturk just knows. The adults in the show are pretty much playing out as Zeta Gundam here, while the kids are just making YouTube memes. Anyway, after this episode, there's a significant post-credit scene. So Jaturk is on another space bus with another bad internship. Apparently now he's a hamburger boy and he's just like getting everybody hamburgers. When out of nowhere, the space bus is finally attacked by mobile suits. And oh fuck, look at this. There are these new Gundams. They're both spin-offs of the Gundam Elfrith from the prologue. And yeah, it looks like the pilots are those two sisters of Nika's. The one looks a lot like her, the other one doesn't. But anyway, shit, this is all Shadik's plan. Shadik's actual plan is to destroy the Bennett group. Whoa, interesting. Wow, okay. This episode has completely thrown down a lot of political chess pieces, and they're all really chaotic. Okay, so we know for a fact that someone is going to assassinate Delling. Definitely happening, but too many people want him dead. Now, the assassination attempt definitely started with Jaturk, but either he's doing this new assassination attempt with Prospera, or potentially Prospera is just doing it on her own, and Jaturk found out about it, possibly because of her alliance with him, or possibly because of the ongoing blackmail situation with him. And meanwhile, Grassley and Zanelli, they're doing their own play in this situation. Now, Shadik has taken Gul Jaturk as a hostage. Possibly as a power play to kill Delling, but possibly also as a power play against Jaturk House, and possibly also just out of the fact that he has a long-term respect for Gul Jaturk, and maybe he's like kidnapping him to like have him as like part of his entourage. That's a ridiculous reason to kidnap someone, but I wouldn't put it past Zanelli. Either way, he's using Jaturk as a political pawn, and it's definitely potentially part of a long-term plan to either put blame on Jaturk or Prospera or bring to light their previous assassination attempts. Now, either way this plays out, Jaturk House is fucked with the way this is going. They're potentially going to get framed for the assassination, and I'm not sure if Prospera's previous blackmail attempt is still in play or if she has anything else going over them. It's possible Prospera isn't involved in this assassination attempt at all currently, but I would really doubt it because she has the most reason to kill Rembrandt. She has a vendetta against him, so she would want him dead more than anyone. And then Pale is also seemingly making a move to take the Ariel, infiltrating the Gundam Company and then using Sexy Elon against Soletta. Now, lastly, Shadik is making some major moves here too. Previously, Shadik just wanted to control the Gundams to help the economy, but the twist in this episode, as it turns out, is he actually already has his own Gundams, and he uses them for secret crimes because they're his secret units. And as it turns out, Shadik is actually a big bad too. It seems that his thing more than anyone else is that he's actually motivated so much to improve the global economy that in this episode, he's willing to like fucking commit crimes for the sake of the economy. Like his big play is that he's going to destroy the Bennett group and break up their global monopoly on mobile suits, which is something that like in our like America, like the Senate could do that, but in like a global space monopoly, like no one can do that. So he's like forced to like deploy these drastic measures just to like break up their monopoly. It's fucking crazy, but it makes sense. Plus, the fact that the Benner Group controls the entire Earth sphere, and the fact that monopolies are just bad for the economy, if Shadik is just all about the economy, then it makes perfect sense that he would want to destroy them. I'm really impressed at what Shadik is turning into. He's on a real path right now to go full Shar Aznavour, but like economic Shar Aznavour. All his motivations are economic, which is just insane. It's the most 2022 villain I could ever think of. Like, he thinks he's a hero, and he thinks he's just trying to fix the economy. But he's doing that by murdering, like, dozens of people. So, yeah. Now, while all the standard Gundam political murder intrigue is going on, Soletta is meanwhile still crying in the tomato house, realizing she let herself go gay for Miorine when Miorine wasn't going to go gay for her after all. She just didn't want to marry Jaturk, and yeah, she fucking played Soletta like a fucking fiddle. God damn, poor Soletta. And now we have Fifth Elon here, who's a sexual predator, seemingly just created to mess her up and fuck with her head. So she's in all sorts of trouble now. Not a good episode for Soletta. Not good at all. She is ending this one crying again. This show keeps being dramatic because you're not sure where the roles are going to play out. You're not sure which character is good, which character is evil, which is a typical Gundam thing. But in this one, it's even more complicated because it's not even like the character tropes are playing out right. Like, old Elon was a complicated anti-hero, but OG Elon and new Elon are both straight up villains. And Earth House seems like in general they're pretty nice guys. But now it turns out that Nika is from a family of assassins, and that makes me wonder where her long-term loyalties might lie, especially considering the state of the Earth that we're just now seeing. It seems like the state of the Earth is like economic devastation and potentially like a post-nuclear like devastated like Japan. Like, a lot of things seem really fucked up on Earth. And Mirin kind of seems like she's poised to be the main hero, but at least as far as the season's been playing out. But in this episode, they also point out that everything Mirin has been doing has been completely selfish just for her own benefit. So that sucks. So if she's just playing for herself, like, is she really a good guy? And it seems like Soletta should be the hero, but things are so twisty in the show, I'm not going to call it. I don't think anyone has officially called her the Witch from Mercury yet either, but they have given her mom that title. And if we are following the classic Gundam cliches of like, mask guy is bad guy, mom has the mask, so you would think mom would be the end bad guy. But don't forget, another classic Gundam trope is that the guy in the blonde hair, always the bad guy. And Shaddiq has some really long blonde hair. So that might mean Shaddiq is the bad guy because his hair is so fucking blonde. Is he the real final threat? Find out, because this show is fucking complicated. Alright guys, see you next week. Have a great weekend. Good night!